Hi, how are you guys doing today? I'm Veronica Valentine, and I'm here covering the 2013 Grand Prix races here on Belle Isle. And we were fortunate enough to catch up with Michael Johnson today, and we're going to have a few words with him. I've been having the pleasure of getting to know you a little bit and have a little bit of conversation and find out a little bit about you. It's our first time talking today.
It is, yeah, it is. Hope you're having a great time. This is awesome here.
Yeah, I am. I'm actually having a great time here at the races, and like I said, I'm really excited to be able to talk with you a little bit and find out a little bit about your past, your future, where you're headed to, where you've come from.
I'm basically I hail from the Mount Morris area, about an hour from here in Flint, and been racing my entire life, and it's a pleasure to be here at the Grand Prix of Belle Isle. And unfortunately, I'm not racing. Our series isn't racing here. But it's fun being with all these people and enjoying the racing atmosphere and seeing everybody that I seen just a couple weeks ago. So it's fun.
Right. I can imagine you're probably picking up on all the excitement and the adrenaline rushes going around and watching all of them come up here, speak of their wins today and where they're going tomorrow and what's going on. What you have a future race coming up here pretty soon?
Yeah. Well, my next race will be the second week of July. So we got a little bit of a time to figure out what we got to do for the race. So it'll be in Toronto, the streets of Toronto with IndyCar, and so it should be fun. It'll be my first time there in the streets in a race car, and so it should be really cool. We do some testing in the next couple of weeks in Chicago, and really get geared up for Toronto. So it should be fun.
Fantastic. Are there any parts that you're absolutely focusing on, things that you'd like to improve in specifically, or anything that you need to get ready for this next race on the track you're going to be running?
I'm basically starting with a new coach that I'm going to be working with, starting in the test in a couple of weeks. Really get my communication down more, to really set up the car how we want to set it up, and get my driving down a little bit better, so he can help me out on a couple of techniques and really just focus on where I'm losing time. And we're really not going to know anything until we get to the race, and because I've never been to this track before. It's a street course, so it's totally different than all the other road courses that we can test on. But we'll have a good sense of where I'm at and what we need to work on, and we can go from there and practice.
That sounds awesome. You seem to you seem to look very excited about that when you're talking about it. Now you've been racing for quite some time.
Yeah, I started racing when I was 3 years old. My dad got me started when he was racing professionally on motorcycles, and I just never stopped from there up until I broke my back in 2005. And then I had a little bit of a break to get my body healed up and get everything going, and then I got back into racing in 2007. And then 2009, I got into car racing, Skip Barber Racing School. Okay. And then last year, 2012, was my first year running with IndyCar, sanctioned by USF 2000. So it's an amazing process of me racing.
That's fantastic. And how was the transition going from one field to the next? I mean, you're coming off of doing racing on a cycle with two wheels, and then you're hitting a car with four wheels. And how was all that for you?
It was a little bit different, but the controls on the handlebar and the steering wheel really got me so that I was used to using my hands. So that transition wasn't too bad, but the transition between two wheels and four wheels took a little bit of time to get used to. And I'm still getting used to it a little bit to get everything settled and get my mind focused on what you need to do for the day. But it's been a flawless process.
That's awesome. Now I know we were talking a little bit earlier, and you were saying that you were going to be running with a new car type pretty soon here.
Right. Yep. So next year I'm going to be running in a series called Pro Mazda, which is the next step on the Mazda Road to Indy ladder system, and there'll be 2 more steps, and I'll be in an Indy car. So it's hopefully, if everything goes
Indy car.
So, but I'm excited to run Pro Mazda next year, and I'll be testing the car later this year, and it should be a lot easier for me to drive. There's going to be a new setup on the steering wheel for the hand controls, so it's going to make my life a little bit easier when I'm driving. Nice. So I can't wait.
That's awesome. I guess if I could ask you maybe just one more question to kind of wrap things up a little bit. And knowing where you've come from in your past and where you stand right now and what's in the immediate future here, what are your major goals as far as your career long term?
I'd say my main goal is to run the Indy 500 and to run the full season of IndyCar as long as I can. And then I'd like to run some sports car stuff in between all that and just maximize the amount of time I can on the racetrack. And awesome. As long as the funding and all that comes in, and we're looking for it all the time. But I definitely like to do both, and so would everybody. But for me, just in general, to get the most track time I can get will help. And I can't wait to see what the future holds.
That's great. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time here to stop over here at Dctv and say hello to us. And we will be looking for you out in the future on the track. And so it's coming up soon. We talked about you got races coming up all throughout the next few months here and into the fall as well.
Yeah.
So we'll be watching for you and waiting to see you do all those wonderful, great things that I'm sure you're going to achieve.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in with Dctv here at the Grand Prix for 2013.